Good morning and welcome to Two Car Garage. We are not, in fact, in my two-car garage. We're in beautiful Glacier National Park, something like 1,500 miles away from home. We've got the camper set up here, and I think it's a perfect opportunity to do a little walk around, show you what it's like. We've been living out this thing for the last week plus. So we've got the Jeep all set up. You can see what that's like, packed out, put all those storage options I talked about into use. And yeah, let's get a tour of this thing and, you know, soak in some of the scenery because it is fantastic. Oh, what's this little critter over here? Hey, but oh, no. All right, so what is this thing? Well, Aliner. It's a classic model, and it's a off-road edition. Which, what does that get you? Well, Aliner's the brand, obviously, right? Origami style here. The classic, that's our 15-foot long, the whatever interior options. And then the off-road edition gives you a 17-inch wheel and real all-terrain tire, full-size spare, a little stronger axle, and then torsion suspension. It works well. We've taken this all over the country. It does really well, actually. And then we optioned it with these dormers. We didn't actually option it. I found it secondhand. So whoever ordered this optioned it with the dormers. I love this feature. It gives you more room inside. I'll show you. Not all of them have this. Some of them just have the roof line, right? Just the A. This is an option, but I'm glad we have it. One of the main reasons we went with this, our tongue weight, 174 pounds. Dry weight, 1,893 pounds. So 1,900 pounds dry weight. We load up our gear in here. Maybe we're at 2,400 pounds. You can tow that with anything, right? Your Subaru, your small SUV, your Jeep Gladiator, well within capacity, works, just tows easy, right? Nice lightweight. You know, your typical fold up steps here. Let's get out of the way, slide in, and then we'll get into some of the outdoor features, but that's what this is in a nutshell. And well, let's get into the features on this. So let's real quick just start right up front. This is something I added. This is a bike rack. Essentially just moves like a receiver up out of the way. I put our normal bike rack in here. We have a one-up bike rack that will just slide in here. The bike sit across this way. It doesn't interfere with hitting the vehicle. It has it up out of the way. It's not hanging off the back. It works. It adds tongue weight, obviously, but nothing too critical. So that's something I added. But it came with these two, the option for two propane tanks. It does have heat inside. You can run the stove off of propane. So that's pretty slick to have two tanks. You know, you forget, or you just go through, you know, it's really cold. I mean, we do a lot of camping in the cabins in the mountains, and you know, you wake up, it'll be 32 degrees, no problem. Or even in Utah desert, it gets cold at night. So nice having that option. Obviously, we have a battery up front here. It's just your normal deep cycle marine type of battery. And then I put out our solar panels. We've been here for a week. We haven't ran out of juice. There's been no issue. We don't use a ton of power, but lights and water pump, it's nice to have juice for that. So I run these, you know, Hobo Freight. They're the cheapest solar panels I could find. They're not the most convenient, but they work. And then this inverter just has little, you know, gator clips to the battery prongs there. You can see we're at 12.5 right now with a little bit of solar charge. It works, right? This isn't really convenient to set up. They have the nice suitcase style ones where you just fold out. I'd say that's probably the way to go. You're just going to spend probably double the money that I put into this. So this was a proof of concept and maybe something that I upgrade down the line. But it's good to start the cheapest route possible, see if it works the way I was hoping it intended. But it does, so all good. Let's move around to the side. I'll show you around there. All right, kind of a nice outdoor feature here is the ability to, you know, run your stove inside or outside. It's nice being inside when it's real cold out, and it's nice cooking outside, you know, when you're cooking bacon and it's beautiful weather and you're at the scenery behind us here. Yeah, so it's a nice feature. It's just a typical 2-burner stove, runs off propane from the front, and just slides in using this channel right here. And then the hose routes, there's a quick connect down there with a little quarter turn valve. Boom, you're plumbed into the propane. So we'll go inside next. I'll show you that. All right, let's get the slippers on here. Here is inside. Pop on a light right here, a light up here. All right, well, welcome to the inside of our Aliner camper. I've done a little bit of modification on this side, just to accommodate how we camp, how we travel with our companions. We've got our 2 dogs with us, Rosie and Moki, on this trip. And so I've made some changes to make just cleaning and organizing and cooking a little easier. So on most Aliner campers, there is a table right here, and you can use that with a bench on either side. You can fold it into a small bed, right, like a twin size bed. Great for a single person. What I have modified is I took that table out, I bolted the base over to this side, and then just cut a new hole in the middle of that support structure just to seat the table inside. Hopefully that makes sense. But now we have all of this room in the middle. I use this as kind of kitchen prep. You know, I can put the stove here if it's inside, and then I have this all for prep space. And then we use the seat as storage spaces, like shelves. This is Rosie's bed, so she sleeps up here. Moki takes a blanket down next to us. And then we have a little, you know, here's our bar shelf. We have a little pantry storage here. There's lots of windows, lots of light, but this is where I was talking about these dormers being so awesome. First of all, I'm about 6 foot, maybe just a touch over, and I cannot touch the peak of this roof line. That is one of my favorite parts about this camper. If you've ever tried putting your pants on, hunched over in a teardrop trailer, then you know how nice this feature is. We have a fan. You can blow, you know, pull air out, blow air in, 3 speeds. There's windows everywhere. So, you know, we've got these curtains. Yeah, curtains drawn now, just help with some of the glare. They don't black out, but they make it pretty pleasant for the morning. You know, you don't get the harsh sun right in your face. All the windows, well, the dormer windows open. 2 windows on the side open, and then that back dormer window opens. All have screens in them. You know, bug screen here. Nice, easy operation. So, real nice for ventilation. There's plenty of ventilation in here. Plenty of light if you want it. Plenty of shades if you want it. Works really well. It does have a fridge. I didn't know this wasn't a feature on all of them, but it actually has a collapse to secure it the door in place. And this is a 3-way stove or fridge. So it runs off of DC, AC, or gas. So you can put it on auto mode, and it'll switch between pulling from the battery, or if you have power running from some other source. You know, if you're at more of an RV site, and you have 240, you can hook up to that. But it can alternate based on, you know, your battery conditions or solar conditions, whatever, and gas. So that's kind of neat, having a 3-way fridge and having that auto mode. We have used it. We still run a cooler in the truck. I'll show you that for day trips, you know, when we go out. But it's a nice option to have. We also have a sink right here. It does have a water pump. The tank, I think, is 8 or 9 gallons. It's not huge, but it's enough. You know, gets us by. So water pump, and it does have a water heater. I don't know how long it really takes to heat up. We don't really use it that often. If I want warm water, I'm just going to put it on the burner, inside or outside, and warm it that way. Normally it's just for coffee. I think that does it for over here. We do have a pass-through storage. This gets us to the storage outside on this side. And under this nice little shelf space here, we use it just to store knickknacks, pajamas, whatever. And there is a microwave, but we don't ever use the microwave. It just holds our stuff. So I'll show you that next. So obviously this is our bedside. This does convert to a couch. We've never actually used it as a couch because, well, we just come here to sleep. So it works really well for that. Underneath is great storage space. We actually keep all of our clothing bag. You know, we pack all of our duffels. We throw them under here. So great storage spot underneath. And then the bed itself is, I think you would call it a camper queen. So it's a little shorter. Again, I'm 6 foot, maybe just a hair over. And I've got a couple inches, you know, I've got about an inch or two from my head right now. And I've probably got 2 or 3 inches from my feet. So I don't know what that is, but maybe it's 76, 78 inches. I don't know. Anyway, you know, you got a little shelf space here. Obviously you have to clear all this stuff away. Micah just kind of keeps her knickknacks up here while we're camping. It's convenient. But you got to move all that stuff off when we drop the dormers down, right? We have a light here. The cushions it's a couch cushion, so they're okay. We put this foam topper on, but it's okay. You can get a camper bed, and I think that might be one of our upgrades next because it's just not the best comfort when you're spending as many nights in this thing as we are. I think last year we spent 36 nights in the camper. So when you figure, you know, it might be worth having an actual bed when you start waking up sore. But it gets us by. The foam topper is a nice little addition, but it's not excellent. We, instead of doing traditional bedding, we have this Kelty. It's called the double wide sleeping bag. It is awesome. It has like a built-in sheet on each side, and then obviously the whole thing, if you're cold, you bring that, you know, the full size blanket there and zip up and tuck in. It's really nice. It also has a 2-way zipper so you can stick your feet out the bottom. It's really easy. It keeps us warm, and then you just take the whole thing and throw it in the washer. Bring some pillows from home. All good. This is our little charging station. It's just a little power cell deal. Rock Pals. Billionaire website purchase, but, you know, as a budget one, works really well. I'm charging my phone right now. We typically, you know, it'll charge both our devices, phones, whatever, for at least for most of our trips, which are typically 10, 11 days on one charge up on this. So it works really well. I recommend it. And that's, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Hopefully I showed you enough. Oh, is that light? Oh, entry light. I didn't even know that was there. Thanks for helping me figure that out. But yeah, hopefully you got something out of this to get to see. I don't know, maybe you've never seen one of these before. I don't know where I saw my first one. I think we were at some Jeep event, and I thought that looks pretty cool. Did some research on them. Lightweight, easy to pull. I mean, we stay dry. It's fairly well insulated. It's been a great little camper. We've had this at least 2 years now, and we spent, you know, over 60 nights in it. So it works really well for us. Who knows? It's just it's part of our evolution, right? Okay, if you saw my storage video, we talked a little bit about options in the cab, in the bed, kind of how I set up for camping. Well, here's what it's actually like. We've been living out of the camper and truck for the better part of 7-8 days now, and I did a little reconfiguring. I did something a little different for this trip. I brought the roof rack out, or the bed rack. This is my front runner T-slot mounting crossbar rack bobber. It's holding up really well. I've got the rug cell Apex storage box up there. It's got all my fluids, tool roll, just side of the road emergency type stuff. I got that out of the bed, put that up top there. It's been holding up really well. We've been through some serious weather on the way out here. Part of the freeway interstate was closed for flooding. We hit some severe thunderstorms that included hail. We were on the tail end of a tornado somewhere in I think we were western South Dakota. It was nasty weather, but it stayed nice and dry in there. No issues with that. I'm impressed. And then we've got a little tote here I keep. This is all of our dry food storage. Go to Costco, fill your basket with all the goodies you want. You just use a Home Depot, whatever, insert your favorite brand tote. And then we got our cooler here. You can open it with the tonneau cover rolled up, but it's nice to have a cooler for additional storage. Plus, if we just want something during the day, you don't have to dig through or pop up our camper to get to anything. So we use this all the time. It's great for day trips. And then I carry an extra thing of fuel, which I need something better. Right now we're just kind of bungee corded to the trail rail system. And then my 5-gallon bucket here, that's a toilet seat on top. That's called the Luggable Loo. Highly recommend if you've been on the trail and you have an emergency. It's good to have an option, especially when you're out in the desert. Yeah. Anyway, nice to have a seat. That works really well for those roadside emergencies. Of course, I have our spare, and then we just have extra room for whatever we need to throw in there for the day. But really simple. Extra, this is our daily carry, right, for hitting the trail or just our road trips in general. And if you wanted to see those storage things that we were talking about in action, look how filthy. Remember how clean it was? Oh, I mean, it's fun. Don't get me wrong, it's dirty because we had fun, but that hurts. So you can see dog beds in place. We'll just keep our waters or whatever we need for the day in here. Got the liner up, little divider for us and the dogs. There's plenty of room for them. They do great. Obviously, our storage space still underneath here. I just keep, like the winch, the stuff I don't need on a regular basis, but it's nice to have with. And then up front, still there's the radio mount, phone holder. That's really all you need. Lastly, let's just give you a quick tour of this little camp spot we got. We're right in the national park. We're at the Rising Sun Campground. That's the view. Absolutely gorgeous. Rising Sun Road is right here. Go that way and it takes you to the west side of the park. You go way out that way and it takes you to Canada. We did that yesterday. Just absolutely beautiful. And a quick 360, give you the layout. There's a camper. There's the truck. I mean, doesn't get much better than that. All right. With that, I mean, kidding me? It's awesome. But I want to say thank you very much. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Get, you know, tell me what you want to see. You want to see more of this? Yeah, we can get you more of that. It's like, hopefully the camper, you know, walk around was helpful for someone or interesting. But thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you. Take care.